And it was Jamie Vardy who got things up and running on his big day. On the afternoon, he was celebrated for 13 years of incredible service. Another magic memory to sign off with. Casey McAteer thumped home a second. And full-time score. With so many of Vardy's former teammates here, is Leicester City 2, Ipswich Town 0.
What a way for Jamie Vardy to sign off. Today was goodbye to the GOAT, and the GOAT has done that by scoring. In his 500th game for the club, he scored his 200th goal. Quite incredible, really. We'll be talking about Jamie Vardy again over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. Then we'll hand back to our commentary team because they're going to talk us through everything that's going on the pitch for Jamie Vardy's farewell celebrations. So the players themselves, they're going into the dressing room now. There'll be about a 10-minute break and then the players will come out again and you'll be able to hopefully see as much of as possible as what we can see in terms of the post-match celebrations involving that man, Jamie Vardy, as he says goodbye to Leicester City. Matt, he had to, didn't he, today? and absolutely he has done.
Yeah, good job. We spoke about it enough, didn't we? And as of most people of Leicester persuasion this week, mulling over in anticipation about whether he'll score or not, or just to come and see him that one final time, isn't it? And a lot of people will be pleased they made the effort to come today as well. And it just wouldn't have been Jamie Vardy if he hadn't delivered. Everyone was up on their feet, but I almost expected it, really. It was almost not a foregone conclusion, but he just makes things happen, doesn't he? He makes things happen and just rounds things off very nicely. Obviously, more than a tinge of disappointment with the relegation, but in isolation today was a special occasion, and Jamie, as usual, made it that little bit more special.
I mean, today was all about one person, the person on our screen there, Jamie Vardy. There wasn't an empty seat in the King Power. The supporters turned out in their numbers to support him, to give him the send-off that he deserved, and he didn't disappoint. He didn't let us down. He turned up once again, absolutely outstanding. Really well taken goal. Everybody on their feet. Even the Ipswich supporters were applauding him on what he's achieved. His 200th career goal for Leicester City in 13 remarkable years. A fitting send-off for a very, very special player.
Yeah, he's just gone down the tunnel now, Jamie Vardy. As I've said, we know he will come back out. There's plenty more that is planned for Jamie Vardy as the club and the supporters and everyone here inside King Power Stadium says goodbye to him. Just a quick note before we obviously talk about Jamie Vardy. I know everyone's going to talk about Jamie Vardy, but a note on the game. Quite a comfortable 2-0 win, actually, for Leicester. Similar to when they played Southampton, that was a comfortable victory here at King Power Stadium a couple of weeks ago. That bodes well for next season.
It does. Two consecutive home wins now, 2 consecutive home clean sheets, 7 points in these last 3 games, and we've seen the spirit and the togetherness that we speak about quite often about Leicester. The sad thing is we haven't seen it enough this season. It has been a disappointing season, let's be honest. But as you say, with the emergence of these youngsters, Evans, Monga, the future does look bright. We've lost an absolute superstar today with Jamie Vardy, who's carried this club on his shoulders for the past 13 seasons. It's time for these youngsters to take the opportunity that hopefully they'll get next season now.
Yeah, and what better person to have there, Matt, is almost a mentor for as long as Jamie Vardy has been here. They think right now we have an opportunity. We can then go and be the main man, whoever that might be.
Yeah, I'm sure it made a big impression on a lot of the youngsters and seasoned pros alike, really. But for the likes of the young lads coming through there, well, you mentioned it. What better example as well of what is achievable if and when they don't make it at the first attempt. He is your prime example of of coming back and not allowing himself to be beaten, really, to go under, and shows you, what can happen if you apply yourself properly. And these young boys coming through, like Evans and Monga and numerous others, really, that are on the edges, on the cusp. Jamie's also a reminder that they haven't made it yet either. There's still a lot of work to do, and there will be consistently and constantly throughout their careers. Hopefully they're long and fruitful like James has been. But he's as good an example as anyone, isn't he, for a number of reasons. But first and foremost, how he applies himself, really. How he, day in, day out, he's so professional. Yes, he has fun with it. Yes, he expresses himself, and he's not your typical footballer, in terms of how he goes about his business. But he's super professional, and people see the benefits of that.
Yeah, and a great celebration to boot. If you look behind you again, Ewan on the screen there, Vardy with the flag raised.
Didn't think it would be long before that image. Plummy's been doing his work.
Right in front of the away fans. And
Yeah.
can I just give a special mention to Casey McAteer as well? I think that was his first Premier League goal. He's another one that's one of their own, or one of our own, come through the ranks, got into the first team, had a really good break-in season last season before he got injured. That scored his first Premier League goal today for the football club. Hopefully, there's many more to come, and there he is on our screen as we speak about him.
No, but yeah, so that was a big moment. A great finish, actually.
A good finish, good move. El Canu started it all, and I tell you what, it was a lovely little first-time pass from Wilfred. Indeed, he's straight into his path. You might look at the goalkeeper if you're analysing the goal, but who cares? He struck it really well.
Rifled it.
He rifled it in. He's kept it low, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. And hopefully he can get a few more next season.
Yeah, I think that would do Casey good.
Yeah.
Because we were talking as the game was going on, and sometimes you just want. Casey went on the outside about 15 minutes prior to the goal, and he was trying to whip one in. It went straight through to the keeper, but he was like, "That's better. Get at your fullback because you have that capability." And you mentioned about just having a bit more belief in himself, really, because he's a lovely lad. Yeah. He works so hard. He's got lots of attributes. He's very good at a lot of things. He just needs to sort of maybe specialise in one or two on top of what he has in the rest of his game. But if you just play that little bit more conviction and purpose, belief that you said, that could take him a long way.
There were so many. We were trying to spot it from where we were sat, the ex-players that are here for Jamie Vardy.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Among those, Wes Morgan, Mark Albrighton, Danny Simpson, Shinji Okazaki, Kasper Schmeichel, Matty James, Ben Alawan, David Nugent, Danny Drinkwater. I think Lloyd Dyer and Nathan Dyer are here as well. Ben Hamer, Sean St. Ledger.
Ben Hamer's here. He let everyone know that.
so many players here to almost, join with us really in saying goodbye to Jamie Vardy. Clearly, these players are friends of Vard's as well. Were friends during their time here. I think Vasilevsky's here as well. We saw him, didn't we? There are so many legends amongst themselves here to say goodbye to that.
And rightly so, Dan. Rightly so.
Where's Nudes?
He was here.
Was he?
Yeah, he was here. He was here.
He's not mixing with us today. Yeah?
A special player deserved a special send-off, and that's exactly what Jamie Vardy. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he's feeling now after the event, the emotion that he's gone through. He's got his 200th goal and his 500th appearance for the football club. I mean, I'm sure he'll be sitting there looking back, thinking to himself, "I didn't do bad, did I?"
This is amazing. The screen we've got on the side. Here that we can see.
Still full of stadiums.
Has this ever happened before? Yeah. I've never seen 32,000. I can't see the away fans. I think even some of them will probably stay for the spectacle. But the whole crowd is near enough there. I can't see any gaps from the vision of.
Why would they leave?
No, exactly. Yeah. But they're all. Has this happened for any other player? I can't remember it. Possibly John Terry at Chelsea. There was a lot of celebrations there when he played his final game, wasn't it? But for the whole crowd to sit behind like that, that's normally empty, properly empty about
Well, now
10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago.
And
They're
even
still
though,
there.
I mean, you obviously you get the lap of honour after every season. Every club does it. But it has been a tough season.
You've got that added to it as well.
It
I
has been a
suppose.
tough season for the fans. Don't get me wrong, I think there'd be a few fans that would have stayed anyway.
Yeah, but primarily they're there for Jamie.
Yeah, they are. 100% they are.
People are gathering in the tunnel, so I think it will be imminent for Jamie Vardy coming out onto the pitch. But yeah, the fans have been excellent today, haven't they? I think we knew they would be anyway, but adding to the fact that this Leicester have been relegated, obviously, as we know, they've still the support today has been absolutely fantastic, and it's not just for Jamie Vardy. Even like Wilson Ndidi went off the ovation he got. All the players have been supported to the hilt by these
support
fans.
has been unbelievable since Leicester were, well, not officially doomed, but it was nailed on that Leicester were going to get relegated, and then eventually the worst happened. But they've reacted so positively to it, if that makes sense. It's a bit, almost weirdly, because I think they recognise certain reasons, certain causes for it to happen, and I think they don't want to. The supporters don't want to prolong the gloom. I don't think they want to try and pick on any sort of positivity they can to give them a bit of cheer, and also to give a bit of source of inspiration, encouragement for next year.
Yeah.
Going forward, because I think they realise it's going to be different. There's a bit of not turmoil, but there's a lot's going to happen between now and the start of next season in different respects. But I think the supporters are showing their loyalty basically, because they haven't gone against the players too much, and when in other times there might have been a heavy level of criticism with the way the season has gone, but they understand the reality of the situation. I think there's a bit of frustration in certain quarters, but they haven't turned on the players, and they've been amazing. So that away game at Brighton, when Leicester got the 2 goals after the dry run. Since that Forest last week, unbelievable. And then today again, they turn up in their tens of thousands for the final game. But it's been a weird, unusual end to the season, because relegation, the brutal truth is, it's just lurking behind you. It's happened.
Yeah.
But you've got to move on, and the Leicester fans seem to be doing that.
Yeah, it's not obviously been forgotten about, but it has, as Matt says, it's just been put to the side for a minute, because today is about Jamie Vardy.
Oh, it is, and it's as soon as the club knew its fate of being a championship club next season, it's as if the pressure's been lifted off the players, and they've gone out and performed. But you're right. I mean, today it was important, I think, to win the game, to finish on a high, to get 3 points at home in your last game in the King Power. But the most important thing today was Jamie Vardy getting that 200th goal for Leicester City, which he did in that first half.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. You talk about the lack of frustration from the supporters, but there must be a part of them. There's a few things occurring now on the
yeah, I'll tell you what, well,
there.
Because that is happening now, and I can see Conrad Logan,
Big
Martin
Conrad.
Waghorn, Sean St. Ledger, a number of Jamie Vardy's former teammates are heading out onto the pitch. So we're going to hand you back to our commentators, Chris Parrott and Jerry Taggart. They're going to talk you through all the post-match celebrations involving that man, Jamie Vardy. Take it away, Chris.
Yes, a final flourish to this special day at King Power Stadium, as many of Jamie Vardy's former teammates are here with huge smiles on their faces. Those that won the Premier League, the 5,000 to oneers, many of those who won the Championship with him in 2014, and other teammates from his 13 incredible years, which we can now say was 500 games and 200 goals. They are going to be joined very shortly by the current playing squad, and it is going to be one giant guard of honour for Jamie Vardy, who is presumably in the dressing room at the moment, getting ready to be called, and the flag saying "Thank you, Vards" fly very proudly around King Power Stadium. Marcin Wasilewski, who got one of the biggest cheers, taking it all in. Mark O'Brien's name now rings around this stadium. Goodbye to the greatest of all time, the greatest player in Leicester City colours, and a character and a story, the likes of which we may never see again in football. The current Leicester City sides coming out following this 2-0 win against Ipswich Town. Kuntop, right at the end of the tunnel as well, is here for the presentation, of course. And they are directed to the top of the Guard of Honour. So 19 of Jamie Vardy's teammates will be the first to greet him as he makes his way towards the centre circle, followed by all of his current teammates. Some old friends reuniting out there, Jerry. What a celebration of Leicester's past and present.
Yeah, incredible. And I tell you what, you know, when you actually realise how many different players he played with over the years, you know, how many teams he went through, you know, how many teams were rebuilt with the players, some of the players you see out there today. And it's great to see them all getting on. They all obviously know each other through various clubs that they've played over the years, but they've all united here today for that one man.
Matt Hermanson is here. Hamza Chowdhury as well, who of course has a championship playoff final, and Shinji Okazaki with that infectious smile.
Yeah, it's a great effort from him to be here. You know, it's a great effort from everybody, but especially Shinji to be over here.
They have travelled from across the country, across the world, to be here for this moment, to salute their former teammate and a club legend who will never be forgotten. The music adding to the moment. Ruud van Nistelrooy marches out. He'll be at the top of the line. So much planning has gone into this moment to give Jamie Vardy the send-off that he absolutely deserves. Danny Drinkwater being hugged by Wilfred Ndidi as Kuntop makes his way up to great applause.
Yeah, and again, look, the amount of fans that have stayed behind, quite incredible.
Nobody has left, actually,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Apart from the, well, even some of the away fans are still here.
Yeah.
They're still here to watch.
I would say 20 or 30 of the away fans. They know what Jamie Vardy has achieved, and he is a player who transcends football clubs. That's one of his great qualities. He's given belief to many players in the twilight of their careers of what they can go on and achieve.
I think, you know, you've mentioned the accolades that Jamie Vardy's received throughout his footballing career, but I think one of the biggest accolades you can pay him is he gives hope to people who are aspiring young football stars of the future and maybe haven't made it first time round. And, you know, it's just a way of saying keep going. You never know what might happen.
His story could easily be a Hollywood movie, we know, but in these parts he is one of Leicester's own, and how they have loved watching him. The stage is set, the Guard of Honour has been built, and shortly Jamie and his family will make their entrance into King Power Stadium. This will be an ovation and a really emotional moment. Here he comes, Jamie Vardy, Leicester's greatest ever player. Well, he took a moment to take it all in, and now hugs his former teammates who have travelled the globe to be here. Matty James, Richie Delat, Shinji Okazaki, those who won the Premier League with him, those who won the Championship with him. A wonderful moment with Danny Drinkwater, with Mark Albrighton. That duo, the assist and the goal, will never be forgotten in the annals of Leicester City's long, proud history. And Leicester's number 9, with his family in this proudest of moments, now embraces with Kuntop. A very special, emotional moment here. There won't be many dry eyes inside King Power Stadium right now.
I'm just wondering if he will leave with dry eyes, because it's got to affect him. It's got to get to him, for sure.
And Jamie Vardy now applauds all 4 sides of King Power Stadium. And we will hear from him. He's going to have a chat with Rob Dorset in a moment. But he gives a big thumbs up, a smile, the size of Philbit Way.
Ladies and gentlemen, for one final time at this football club, we're in the presence of greatness. It's been an absolute privilege for all of us to be here to witness the 500th game and 200th club goal. Let's have a chat with him right now. Jamie, congratulations. You said to me a few days ago that this lot, your family, think you're emotionless. How are your emotions right now?
Well, we'll see in a bit. I don't know what's to come. Everyone's been planning it without me, so we'll find out in a bit.
Important, I know how competitive you are to win that final game and for you to score your 200th goal. Dare I say it was an emotionless, clinical finish?
Yeah, look, I missed a couple before that, but once JJ put me through there, I was never going to miss it, and obviously getting the dogs abuse from the away fans that were on this, I was going.
You have made a career of that. Now listen, you told Becky, you told the family on the morning that you scored for your 11th consecutive game in the title-winning season of 2016 that you knew you were going to score that day. Did you know you were going to score today?
I didn't mention it this morning, but I spoke to Kingy before, and yeah, I said I was going to.
It had to be. It had to be. Now listen. Today is also the 13th anniversary of you joining Leicester City from Fleetwood Town. First ever player to command a transfer fee of £1 million. Try and sum up for all of us here today what that extraordinary 13 years has been like for you in this football club.
No, it's been amazing. It's been a roller coaster, it really has. But the good thing is there's been way more highs, and I think everyone that have never thought would have been in the Champions League, winning the league, and we've all been there to enjoy it.
You're moving on to Master's view, but when you see the likes of Ben Nelson, Jake Evans, Joey Monga, who came on the pitch again today, in their tender years, how hopeful, how optimistic are you about Leicester City going forward without you?
Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. You know, at the end of the day, they've got a good squad. You've got all the youngsters coming through as well. I'm glad I'm not them, because football is a killer mentally, and I couldn't do it all again if I'm honest. But I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I look forward to keeping an eye on the club I love, to be honest with you. They're in my heart, that's it.
Jamie, you've got a special relationship with this group of supporters. They take you to their hearts. You've been their talisman for 13 years. It feels only right that your last words as a Leicester City player are to them. What do you want to say? You better speak, this could go on for some time.
The only thing I really can say is, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking myself and my family in as one of your own, and I hope I can play every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Vardy. And now, before we get on with the presentations, I can draw your attention to the screen on your right, because the club have put something a little bit special together for you. And first up, one or two special messages.
Stop, please. I'm not pinching you. She's not pinching me, but she's being annoying.
Just do it, otherwise I won't get to go on the football pitch. Think about the football pitch.
Thank you, Daddy, for all that you've done for us. I love you. Thank you, Daddy and the fans. You made us have a better life. Thank you, Daddy. I love you so much. But,
Ladies and gentlemen, the club would now like to make a special presentation to Jamie on his final game for the club. There is a very special golden fox statue that'll take pride of place on the Vardy mantelpiece. There is also a special commemorative book that they've produced, highlighting Jamie's best moments, I think you've got to say, of which there have been many. And top will do the honours there. And finally, we thought it was an opportune moment to announce Leicester City's Player of the Season for 2024-2025, voted for you by the fans. Who could it be? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jamie Vardy. And I think Becky and the Vardy family have got something special they'd like to give Kuhn Top at this moment. You'll see this on all the websites and the papers tomorrow morning. It's an extraordinary portrait of Jamie Vardy with Kuhn Top. And now finally, ladies and gentlemen, for one last time, in such exalted company and some of his most loved teammates of the past, Jamie is going to lead the rest of the team on a lap of honour, a lap of farewell for you to all get your chance to wish him all the best. So if I can please ask you one last time to give it up for Leicester City's greatest of all time, Jamie Vardy!
Well, memories which will last a lifetime for Jamie Vardy, his family and everybody inside King Power Stadium that witnessed those. There was a bit of emotion and a huge smile. The closeness of Jamie Vardy and Kuhn Top, Jerry, so evident, and a fitting montage, a fitting moment really to celebrate Jamie's astonishing career here.
Yeah, without a doubt, Chris. And I think, you know, the relationship between obviously the owner, Kuhn Top, and Jamie, you know, it's it's a two-way thing. You know, obviously they took a gamble with that £1 million 13 years ago to take a player from non-league, and what a gamble it was. And now he's repaired that gamble in spades.
Wow, this is terrific. Jamie Vardy is there shaking Danny Simpson's hands, and one of his daughters has taken, in a way only someone that age could, and she is doing her own lap of honour. That is
I think it's his youngest daughter, isn't it?
glorious. And at the beginning of the montage we saw a bit of that Vardy character which comes out in all three of his children with Rebecca. And now Jamie Vardy will lead this farewell lap, and I can let you into a bit of a secret in terms of what that will have meant the last 5-10 minutes. So when he came and did the photo shoot with all of the trophies that he brought, the one that Kunvishai and Kuntop gave him for setting a Premier League record by scoring in 11 consecutive games in 2015, he said that apart from the major trophies he's won, that actually was the accolade that he still treasures the most.
Yeah.
And he is now enjoying his moment.
I think as an individual, you know, obviously there's the Golden Boot. You know, on a selfish, which I believe he's probably one of the most unselfish people on a football pitch. The work rate he's given for the team over the years. But centre forwards have to be selfish, because that's how they score goals, and by being selfish in certain instances in a game. And so for him, winning the Golden Boot and breaking that consecutive goal scoring record of Ruud van Nistelrooy's,
Yes.
I mean, why would it not be top of his list?
He is now just set 10 or so yards ahead of the current squad and then his former teammates, almost as if they are actually hanging back, so that it's Jamie and his family. Special moments for his family as well, to be here, to see the adulation and to be part of this. Jerry, I mean, you played hundreds of games for this club, and the player has to go out there and perform, but the support and the love that they get from their families is massive.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great experience for the kids. I know I've had my own kids on this pitch after the season doing a lap of appreciation, but not one of them took off on their own and walked around the pitch on their own. she's made it almost all the way around now, to be fair.
You might see it at the top of your picture. 4 or 5 absolutely lapping it up as their mum and dad are at the other end of the pitch.
When I had my son on this pitch, I think he tried to have a wee on it, not do a lap of honour on his own. So that just shows you how far the kids have come on these days. I blame the parents myself, but there you go. Yeah, it's great scenes, great scenes.
Sun is shining on Jamie Vardy, and what a way to finish. 500 appearances, his 200th goal. And in the Jamie Vardy Leicester story, from the moment he signed to his debut at Torquay in 2012, to the Championship title first time around, to the great survival in the Premier League, as now his daughter catches up with Daddy. She knows a thing or two about timing as well, by the looks of things, but Jerry, all the way through that amazing story, Champions League successes, FA Cup. Actually, the final tale was written today when you mentioned in commentary it's an awful lot to take in, but he still had the concentration, the conviction and the clinical brilliance to score on his big day.
Yes, and you know, and you listen to him afterwards saying that, you know, it's not easy. And but yeah, I mean, his mental capacity, you know, to still be going at 38 and to say he's not going to retire, he's going to move on. I mean, credit to the guy. Right? You know, and there's some guys here today who've retired that are younger than him. You know, and it just shows you the longevity he's got. Yeah, he deserves everything he gets today. Yeah, I've nothing but admiration for the guy.
Jamie Vardy heads to an away end for the final time, and actually some Ipswich fans showing some real class by staying and applauding him. They're a club a little bit like Leicester, who I think appreciate what he has brought to the game of football in this country, whether you support Leicester or not. He is about hope. He is about taking not one of the financial big boys to the very top and beyond in Europe. And he chatting with his wife. It's actually in the modern era as well, Jerry. It's very nice to see this. There are so few who stay as long, but
absolutely. And
so many eventually move on in pre-season.
Well, we've seen it multiple times in the recent past at this football club where players have moved on after doing well here. But obviously, again, both parties came out on top with Jamie Vardy deciding to stay when he could have moved on. And I think it was, you know, it's a big decision to make for not just you, but obviously your family and the football club. For him to stay here after that title-winning season instead of moving on was a massive decision, and obviously one, again, that he's replayed the club by staying here, i.e. getting to the FA Cup final and winning it for the first time.
He now makes his way back towards the main stand. By the way, his daughter went off and did another lap of honour ahead of him as well. As Ruud van Nistelrooy, Harry Winks is here as well. His past teammates, his current teammates, and 28,000 Leicester fans saying bye-bye to their number 9. A player, a figure who has inspired a generation of Leicester City supporters. And the time has come for him to exit the pitch for the very last time. A tinge of sadness, but right now, young and old, about to salute their departing hero one final time. 500 games, 200 goals. Nigel Pearson, the man who brought him to the club, ready to wish him farewell. A lifetime of memories that Jamie Vardy has brought to this great football club. And his old partner in crime, Mark Albrighton, is one of those right at the end of the tunnel. Jerry, just finally from you, can you put into words what Jamie Vardy has given the club that you served with such great distinction as well?
He's just gone to a different level, hasn't he? You're talking about a top-class player, a top-class goal scorer, having the wherewithal to stay at a club like Leicester for those 13 years instead of moving on, and has catapulted Leicester in recent years to global fandom, whatever you want to call it, and he has been at the centre of catapulting Leicester to a global entity. He's been at the spearhead in doing that. Yes, there's been other players, you know, your Mahrez and players like that, but Jamie Vardy is the one staple. You know, when you mention the word Leicester City, Jamie Vardy goes alongside it.
Beautifully put. A name who will always be synonymous with Leicester City. Jamie Vardy bows out, as I think he would love, surrounded by his teammates, many of whom he achieved the impossible with in 2014. And it is a thank you to Jamie Vardy. That is all from King Power Stadium on a very emotional afternoon, as the club's greatest ever player bid a very, very fond farewell.